Hello traders, this is Chris again from Quant Dynamic for the global market report for this week. Before we start, a small disclaimer here. Everything on this presentation will be purely for educational purposes only, and you should seek an investment advisor for all of your decision to buy or sell any financial securities in the stock market. Now let's get started with the emotion in the market. At the moment, fear is still driving the market, and as you can see, the Dow now dipped a little bit from last week, from negative 15 to negative 16, as well as S&P 500 from negative 11 last week to negative 12 this week. S&P 500 is making another high from early of this week, downward movement. But again, you need to be very careful on the following weeks because as we all know that for the next 2 weeks, there will be a lot of QR earning reports that will be released by various companies or Fortune 500 companies, including Apple, Facebook, and so on. At the moment, S&P 500 is showing a strong gain. No trend line has been breached for the uptrend trend line over here, so indicates a very strong move towards the upside. So this could prove to be a good sign. But again, as I just mentioned just now, there's a lot of QR reports that will be released next week by various companies. So be very careful. And Nasdaq is also making the same progress as S&P 500, and there's a clear sign of support and resistance level. So anything that is above the resistance level by next week, that will be a very good sign for us, especially on the technology stocks, as we all know that during this COVID-19 pandemic, technology stocks, biotech stocks, and retail online industry sector making a good performance of this time around. So we have to look very carefully on Nasdaq, where the market will bring us next week. Next, we are having a glance on the crude oil market. Crude oil market now recovering from the negative plunge over the week. But again, you need to be very careful. There is two lines of resistance that need to be breached in order for the oil market to push the price higher. Anything that will push the price back from the resistance line can happen by next week, as there are several companies I just mentioned just now. QR reports may play or drive the markets to a different level next week. Gold is making another progress higher, but because there is a down market, bearish candle on last Friday. But again, at the moment is making an ascending triangle, so any price that will breach this resistance level may give us a clue that the price will continue to go up. But if the price will break this trend line, then gold may be revisiting the previous support line that is being met around this level. So keep a close watch on the gold market for by next week. Okay, and now we move to three stocks that I'm going to share with you for next week. 3M will release its QR reports sometime before the market open on Tuesday. So any price, we'll have to look closely on the price action for next week for 3M. Any price that will breach this resistance level will be a very good sign. But as usual, as I mentioned just now, earnings for any earnings season, we need to be very defensive, and we have to watch the market more closely. Volatility will for sure um, influence any individual stocks for next week. The next stocks that will be releasing its QR reports will be Facebook before the market open on Wednesday. At the moment, Facebook price action shows us it has a strong reversal trend at the moment. But again, you need to be very careful what is going to give us next week. As I can see here, there will be a resistance line over this level, so you need to be very careful on that one, because maybe if the price hit the resistance level, there may be some pullback downwards. So be very careful for next week. Volatility is there for next week. And lastly, Apple will be releasing its QR earning reports on Thursday after the end of the market, at the close of the market. Yeah. But I like the chart pattern on Apple. It do some retracement here, and if the market is positive for next week, it may push the price of Apple to breach the resistance level over here, and that will be a good sign for us. But another thing that you need to refer back to the chart, and you need to understand the market situation for next week. Any news, any catalyst, any sentiment within the global marketplace may affect the the landscape of the market next week. Lastly, we review on the global heat map of the stock exchange. ASEAN are giving us a negative close on Friday, with Indonesia posting a negative 2.12%, India 1.71%, and Thailand 1.08%. On the European front, only Ireland posting a positive gain of 0.62%, while Belgium posting the highest negative of 2.48%. The S&P 500 on the North American market posted a 1.39% gain, while overall on the global marketplace, only Brazil posted a negative 5.45%. That's the most down market globally. Okay. Until next week, I will update you on the market development for next week. I'm Chris, signing off for Con Dynamic, and make sure to tune in again for next week. Goodbye, traders.